Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday. No. Yes, it is Wednesday. Wednesday, February the 4th. We're here to look at the new releases being published this week in crime fiction and thrillers. So the darker, grittier side. We're having a good morning. Elijah says, "Hi, it's Bobby. Hope you're well this morning." Is your name not Elijah? Well, let's jump in. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night, at 8 p.m. Eastern. First up, the new J.D. Rod. This is what I'm currently reading. I'm at 30%, I believe. This is 62nd in series, Stolen in Death. A blow to the head with a block of amethyst has left multi-billionaire Nathan Barrister dead, while nearby a vault, its door ajar, sits filled with priceless paintings, jewelry, and other treasures. Lieutenant Eve Dallas's husband Rourke, who misspent his youth in Ireland as a scrappy thief, recognizes at least two stolen pieces among the hoard. The crime scene suggests a burglar caught in the act, but only one item seems to be missing. Then it's revealed that the vault had actually belonged to the victim's late father, and no one in the household knew it was there until a recent remodeling project exposed it. To protect the family name and business, they explained to Eve, they've been looking for a way to return the ill-gotten gains anonymously and avoid the police. But now the police are all over their elegant house and have a bigger, bloodier mystery to solve. By all accounts, Nathan Barrister was a good man, a generous employer, a devoted husband and father. As for his father, he clearly had secrets. Now it's up to Eve and her team to find out if those secrets got Nathan killed, and if it was a crime of passion or revenge. And I forgot to click on it. We'll give it its moment. Good Intentions by Marissa Waltz. This is a debut. On the surface, Katie has the perfect life. She has a thriving luxury event planning business, the man she's loved since she was 17, and a social calendar she can barely keep up with. She also has Dana, her identical twin, her most trusted confidant. But when Dana dies suddenly, before Katie can say goodbye, everything shatters. Yet to her family's alarm, it isn't grief for Dana that consumes her. It's Morgan, a stranger Katie meets in the hospital waiting room that same day, a grieving mother whose tragedy mirrors her own. Katie doesn't believe in coincidences. She becomes convinced that helping Morgan is the key to facing her sister's death. But is that really what she wants, or is Katie drawn to Morgan for reasons far more complicated and dangerous than she's willing to admit? And then it's blurbage. Well, there's a pink cover. Greedy by Kali Kazumi. They will kill me soon, Edward Cook thinks, and when the Yakuza are unable to collect what he owes, Ed realizes they'll go after his wife and child next. Broke, desperate, and unemployed, he stumbles upon an unusual ad. Chef wanted, private chef for a high-profile businesswoman, 1 million yen per day. Ed accepts the job. He hasn't earned any Michelin stars, but he knows his way around a kitchen. Leaving his life in Tokyo behind, he departs for an opulent estate in the mountains owned by the enigmatic drinking game. And reclusive, Hazeline Yamamoto, a disgraced socialite with a predator smile and an exacting palate. Hazeline's world is one of taste, connoisseurship, and experimentation. She is a certified gourmand. But when you can afford filet mignon for every meal, you begin to seek out the strange and forbidden. The closer Ed gets to Hazeline and the brighter future that she promises, if he remains loyal, the nearer he is to realizing the chilling truth about her altruism. In this shadow world of unimaginable wealth, there are worse monsters than two-bit gangsters. The wind blowing through Hazeline's home carries the sound of screaming, and Ed finds himself feeding all kinds of beasts. That's unsettling. I have a kink in my neck. Hooked by Caitlin Rother. First in the Katrina and Good series. While investigative reporter Katrina Chopin and surfing homicide detective Ken Good lock eyes, there's an immediate attraction. Sparks fly as they bond over cocktails, sharing their common experiences of being orphans and losing loved ones to suicide. But the next time they meet, it's from opposing sides of a high-profile case. Two biotech execs, whose company is developing a groundbreaking sexual enhancement drug, turn up dead in the wealthy seaside enclave of La Jolla Farms, where Good can readily see that the forensic evidence doesn't add up. As they work their own angles, sometimes together and sometimes at odds, their growing attraction threatens to cost them their jobs and their lives. As Katrina and Good pursue answers behind these mysterious events, a secret stalker haunts Katrina with details of her tragic past, which takes her to the brink of death. But once the duo rips the mask away from this beautiful paradise, the corrupt underbelly behind all that glitters is revealed. So why is she known by her first name and he by his last name? That doesn't seem fair. End of that row. How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. Blurbage. When Jamie Prescott and her best friend Lori attend a speed dating event, Jamie expects to meet a roster of mediocre men and indulge in some street food afterward. She doesn't expect one of her dates to have his throat slit at their table during a blackout. After the lights come back on and there are more bodies on the floor, it becomes clear that dating can be a very dangerous pastime. Armed with makeshift weapons and Jamie's extensive knowledge of what not to do in a slasher, the remaining speed daters try to find an exit while the killer adds to their body count. As the night progresses and Jamie comes face to mask with the murderer, she begins to suspect they are committing the slayings to woo one of the daters and turn them into a real-life final girl. But Jamie has other plans, and as she fights for her life, she can't help but find herself ensconced in a love triangle with two of the other survivors. Will she make it through the bloodshed to find her happily ever after, or does this machete-wielding psychopath have another ending in mind? Good Lord. In His Wake by Chad Zunker. The death of reporter Dean Dawson's estranged father in a boating accident leaves Dean and his brothers with mixed emotions. After all, the man abandoned his family and lived a life of inexplicable lies and broken promises. But 4 months after the fatal night cruise, their father is becoming a greater mystery than they imagined. When a presidential candidate is assassinated in Austin, Dean is contacted by April North, his former girlfriend and an associate of Dean's father at a powerhouse law firm. She stumbled upon a shocker. A cryptic text she wasn't supposed to see on her boss's phone not only implicates the firm in the assassination, but also suggests that Dean's father may still be very much alive. As the brothers are pulled into a dark conspiracy, Dean and April are on the run as the next targets of a mysterious assassin, and one kill shot away from discovering the truth and a father's dangerous secrets. I heard how to pronounce this, and I think I forgot how. Mary Kubica? We'll leave it at that. Two families at a secluded lake. It's not her. Two families at a secluded lake resort are at the center of this chilling blah blah blah. A scream shatters the silence. Courtney Gray's peaceful vacation turns into a nightmare when she discovers her brother and sister-in-law dead in their lakeside cottage. Her niece Reese is missing. Her nephew Wyatt is sleeping upstairs unharmed. A town full of secrets. As police swarm the quiet resort, dark truths about Courtney's family and the town itself begin to surface. Is Reese a victim or the killer? A truth no one saw coming. With everyone hiding something, Courtney races to uncover the terrible mystery. But the closer she gets, the harder it is to know who or what to trust. Missing by D.E. Beckler, first in the City Streets Mysteries. On a cold Manchester night, Victor Mitchum and his loyalish dog witness something they were never meant to see. Living on the streets has made Victor good at watching people, which is exactly why private investigator Kasper Dabrowski recruits him to help find a missing woman. But as Victor watches from the shadows, he realizes he has stumbled into something far more dangerous. Working alongside Casper and his sister, Victor discovers he's not just tracking kidnappers, he's watching killers, and now they know someone is watching them. With time running out for the victims, Victor must rally his unlikely allies, the forgotten people of Manchester's streets, in a desperate fight for survival. But in a city where the powerful prey on the vulnerable, can a man society has chosen to ignore become the hero those families need? End of that row. I don't know if me reading it is helping or not today. Hi, Mary. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Still iced in, beginning to get old. Oh, honey, come to Montana. It's in the 50s. And that doesn't sound good to me at all. I know, some of these are just like, bleh. I meant the date book. Should have mentioned that. That's okay. Yeah, some of these are like, bleh. You know, the date one sounded interesting, and then it went weird. But I'm not in the mood for a thriller, so they're all kind of not sounding interesting to me right now. Read Between the Lies by Jesse Q. Sotanto, and there's an introduction. So apparently this is part of Mindy's book club or something. Fern's dream of becoming a published author is finally coming true. After years of rejection, her debut novel has sold, and she's ready to join the supportive online community of fellow debuts. But when she discovers her high school bully Haven has landed a major book deal and will be debuting alongside her, old wounds reopen. As the pandemic forces everyone online, tensions escalate in their writing community. While Haven seems to succeed effortlessly, Fern watches her own career crumble. Yet beneath their polished personas lies a darker truth about their shared past, one involving a lost friend, Danny, and secrets neither wants revealed. Fern isn't the same person Haven bullied all those years ago. She's learned that the best revenge stories aren't written, they're lived, and she's been plotting this one for years. What begins as online rivalry escalates into dangerous obsession, because neither woman is telling the whole truth about what really happened to Danny, or about who's the real victim in this story. You know, truthfully, I don't read any books set during pandemic. Lived it, don't need to read about it. Are you feeling better now, Mary? You were fighting a cold or for quite a while. The X's by Leodora Darlington. This is a GMA Book Club pick. Who hasn't wanted to murder an ex, figuratively at least, in this explosive debut thriller, another debut? A woman's seemingly perfect romantic life is on the verge of collapse as she uncovers a hidden history, surfacing dark secrets that have deadly consequences. Natalie has only ever wanted to find the one, the perfect man, the happy family she never had, but each time she thinks she is finally getting somewhere, she's bitterly disappointed. Nobody's perfect. Another red line through a list of exes, and that was before the night of the big fallout that left her even more alone. Then along comes James, wonderful, handsome James, and Natalie thinks her luck has finally turned. Maybe he's the one for her. Maybe he's the one she's been waiting for all along. Maybe he won't wind up dead. But the harder Natalie tries to be a normal wife, the more world-upending truths are brought to her door, leaving her unsure of who she really is, and much less what she'll do, leaving her to question whether there is a monster within her, or whether there is a villain toying with her from the outside. What's the secret story behind Natalie's dead exes? Will she and James survive their marriage, and do either of them deserve to? Life is always deserved. The Flack by Brad Parks. His final warning, don't take the job, just run. Kurt Hinton and Angel Reddish are like a Hollywood buddy flick come to life, former college roommates turned lifelong best friends who always have each other's backs. So when Angel offers Kurt the chance to leave his job at a failing newspaper and take a lucrative position as head of corporate communications at Balco, the Bay Area logistics company, Kurt takes the leap. Nothing bad can happen with Angel at his side. That illusion is shattered on Kurt's first day at Balco when he learns that Angel was killed the night before during a carjacking. Tasked with writing a press release about the crime, Kurt quickly discovers the carjacking wasn't random. It was a targeted attack by professional killers. Who would murder Angel, and why? The Oakland police don't have any answers. Neither does the FBI. As Kurt is drawn into the mystery of his best friend's death, he discovers there are many possible suspects and that there's a lot more danger swirling around his new employer than he could have ever imagined. It says it's perfect for fans of Harlan Coben and Jodi Picoult. The Patient by Tim Sullivan, third in the George Cross mysteries. How do I know it's 3rd of 8th? We're going to double check some dates here. Yeah. Well, all signs indicate it's a new release. When a young woman is found dead with no fingerprints, no weapon, and no witnesses, the Bristol Crime Unit is ready to close the case as suicide, especially after the coroner cites the victim's long history of drug abuse. But her mother is convinced it was murder, saying that her daughter had been clean and sober for over 2 years. D.S. Cross is determined to defy his bosses and reopen the case, even if it costs him his career. Soon he is mired in a labyrinth of potential suspects, but can he solve the case before his superiors shut it down for good? That one to me is still a little hinky. Don't know if it's a new release for sure or republishing. End of that row. Next. The Ravine by Maya Chance. Harlow has almost everything she ever wanted. A passionate marriage, an adorable stepson, and a fresh start at her husband Gregor's boyhood home on the water. If only she could get pregnant, her happiness would be complete. But soon after they arrive on the misty, tree-cloaked island, Gregor starts to change, and Harlow is shaken by his odd connection to their neighbor Kirsten, a luminous tradwife influencer. Then, deep in the wooded ravine, Harlow finds evidence of an unspeakable murder, or thinks she does. Desperate to know what's real and what's only in her mind, she tracks down rumors of missing girls and bloody rituals, and begins to suspect that her marriage, too, hides a menace she never saw coming. Each day the feeling grows. The safest thing she can do is run, but from what? Harlow can't even begin to imagine. We Were Never Friends by Kara Ruda. Sisters forever. Friends, never. Who knew a reunion weekend could be so deadly? Everybody, it's always a reunion weekend. Meet the sorority sisters of Theta Gamma Mu. Roxy Callahan Gentry, the ruthless former sorority president and current hostess who has painstakingly choreographed every detail of this weekend, even matching the cocktails to her couture to prove she remains their undisputed queen. Amelia Dell, the widow drenched in old money and alcohol, with her big pot-stirring spoon and uninvited boy toy in tow. Jamie Vale, the double legacy pledge, straight A student with no sparkle, now a top cardiologist with a picture-perfect family and a well-guarded bad habit. Beth Harrison, the scholarship student who never quite fit in and was only admitted because her best friend Sunny insisted that the two were a package deal. Sunny Spencer, the carefree and beloved friend to all, or so it seemed, until she wasn't. They'd been summoned to Roxy's luxurious Palm Springs vacation home to celebrate the engagement of her son to Beth's daughter, but the refurbished 1920s estate is eerily reminiscent of the hotel where tragedy struck during spring break 25 years ago. Long simmering tensions and shocking secrets begin bubbling to the surface like bodies, because while the weekend was supposed to be about celebrating the future, it's not so easy to bury the past. ...
Yeah, don't go to reunion weekends. Last one, The Foundling House by John A. Hoda, a Jekyll and Murphy mystery, book number 2. London, 1889. After surviving Jack the Ripper's reign of terror, Doc Henry Jekyll and Francine Murphy dream of a peaceful future together. But their fragile hopes are shattered when Francine's estranged husband, Seamus, reappears, begging her to help find his sister's missing baby, stolen from a long-term foster home. Reluctantly, Jekyll joins Francine in the search, only to discover the dark world of baby farming, where infants are bought, sold, and discarded for profit. As they dig deeper, every clue draws them closer to danger and to each other. Haunted by guilt and longing, Jekyll must confront the monster within, while Francine faces the past she tried to escape. Together, they risk everything to uncover a truth more horrifying than they imagined, and to save a life that could cost them both their hearts. And, excuse me, that is it. We will probably, we definitely will. We will cancel Friday's morning show because we looked at all the cozy mysteries on Monday and all the darker side here on Wednesday. So no real reason to do Friday if there's nothing to look at. Don't want to waste your time. So next week we'll look at all the new releases being published next week. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night. Maurice is feeling much better. Oh, good. It was a really rough 3 weeks. Oh, it sounds like it. Oh, I'm glad you're better. Woof. Woofda. Alrighty. Well, I wasn't tempted by anything other than the book I already bought, Stolen in Death, which is really, really good. Hope you have a good day, a good rest of your week. Be safe. Be warm if you're in a place. Read good books. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.